Good day to all. Welcome to Extreme Recap. These astronauts are about to deal with the realization that they may be the last human on Earth as they witness the entire planet being enveloped in a toxic fog. It is the year 2056. Additionally, the poor are left to die as the Earth's atmosphere has almost completely deteriorated. The wealthy live in specialized air domes that remove pollutants from the air. Big corporations have taken the place of world governments and now have their own private armies to settle disputes over resources and territories. All attempts to flee to space have failed. Rubikon, the last space station still in orbit, is owned by a company called Nebra. They use it to study the environmental crisis on Earth and conduct research on it. A Negro officer named Hannah and a natural extremist and scientific expert named Gavin are moving toward Rubikon in a space transport. They are coming to investigate the station. Due to the delicate and risky nature of space travel, Gavin is anxious. They get in touch with the scientists on board as they approach Rubikon. Tracy and Philip, the AI, according to Hannah, uses her current coordinates to navigate. However, on their screens, Philip and Tracy are reading coordinates in completely different ways. The shuttle is much closer to Rubikon than they realize, and it appears that the information is missing. To dock with Rubikon, Hannah takes manual control of the shuttle. She moves the shuttle around, but it barely avoids hitting the Rubikon. She is able to dock successfully. Philip and Tracy greet them as they enter the Rubikon. And while Philip leads the tour for them, the ship's walls are covered in green algae, which Hannah observes with interest. Hannah uses video to communicate with her sister Nap back on Earth. After that, Hannah and Gavin are properly greeted by the ship's crew over a few drinks. They get to meet Dimitri, the doctor, and Daniel, his son, who seems to be unhappy with Gavin. Because Gavin is the wealthy man's son who lives on Earth in air domes. Philip arrives at that exact moment and informs them that the laser communication system has informed them that a strange fog has developed in some areas of the Earth, resulting in fatalities. Gavin goes to a device that looks at Earth's atmosphere to see how things are. However, the device is inoperable. The following day, the station's astronauts are getting ready to return to Earth. Hannah, Gavin, and Dimitri will remain. When everyone has left, Hannah speaks with Nebra. Hannah is really a Nebra spy was sent to look into the ship's algae system. Nebra is of the opinion that Dimitri and the algae have developed an atmospheric closed system that is completely sustainable. They believe he is concealing his due to the replenishment of fresh, breathable air. Hannah is advised by Nebra to proceed with Project Icarus. She asks for more time, but they say no and tell her to finish it in 2 days. Hannah opens a computer panel with the word written on it as she looks around the algae lab. All at once, Dimitri shows up and Hannah shuts the board in time and shows up as though she was guiltlessly noticing the green growth. She raises red flags for Dimitri. On the laser communication, they receive an emergency message. It comes from Philip and the other traveling astronauts. They are entering the Earth blind, Philip informs them, and they are unable to make any kind of contact with ground control. Hannah tries to contact ground control on her own, but nothing happens. She dons a suit and goes outside to see if the hardware used for their communication is still working. In the shuttle, Dimitri talks to Danielo, who sounds panicked. Hannah is examining the hardware outside. She receives a transmission filled with screams from the shuttle astronauts, who inform her that their shuttle is severely burning up during re-entry and cannot slow down. Hannah turns around to see that a strange brown fog cloud is gradually covering the entire planet after the transmission abruptly terminates with a few more loud screams. Hannah enters the room and frantically tries to contact Nebra, or ground control. Yet, she gets no response from anybody. She receives one last message from her sister, in which she is informed that on the ground soldiers have been called in to move people to the bunkers. Dimitri is distraught at the same time because he just heard Danielo's final screams. Hannah keeps trying to get in touch with anyone on Earth over the next few days. However, in vain due to the fog's inability to be penetrated by the lasers of their communication system. Dimitri mourns his son while remaining locked up in his room. He yells at Hannah to leave when she tries to talk to him. Gavin keeps attempting to activate the atmosphere analyzer in order to identify the nature of this fog. Gavin wakes up one day and finds that the analyzer is working. However, he seems surprised by what he finds. Attempting suicide, Gavin enters the space station's airlock and depressurizes it. The CCTV cameras show this to Hannah. In order to save Gavin, she and Dimitri rush. They watch as he struggles to breathe, but until the airlock has completely depressurized, they are unable to repressurize and open the door. They fill it with air at full speed when it finally does. They open the door and administer mouth-to-mouth CPR to save Gavin. It performs. As Dimitri cares for Gavin, who is unconscious, he informs Hannah that he is aware that she is Nebra. A spy was sent to investigate the algae system. Hannah claims that Nebra supports both his research and this station. Therefore, the algae system technically belongs to them, but he strongly disagrees. The following day Hannah is working. Hannah and Dimitri follow Gavin as he wanders the ship and finds him seated in the communications room. He discusses what he learned from the analyzer with them. No one can breathe the toxic fog that covers the Earth for a single second. Everyone on the planet has died. Gavin has a fit of anxiety and experiences issues relaxing. He receives some medication from Dimitri and is put to bed. They set up an alert in his room in the event that he awakens. Dimitri inquires as to whether she had anybody back on the planet, and she educates him concerning Canapé. She asserts that it has no bearing because they will perish on this station when they run out of oxygen. Dimitri asserts that won't occur and acknowledges that his algae system is advanced enough to supply them with oxygen. Hannah tries to get in touch with Earth by working on an old radio wave communicator. Dimitri also assists her with it. It fails to reach anyone, regrettably. Additionally, Hannah is upset. When Gavin awoke, he appeared to be stable enough to speak. Now, Hannah inquires about the fog and its origin. According to Gavin, it is a deadly aerosol that probably formed as a result of a chain reaction between power plant toxins and Earth pollution. He asserts that it is over because this fog cannot be removed by Earth's air domes. He learns about the algae system from Hannah, who says they can stay as long as they need to on the space station. However, the idea of living there for the rest of his life irks Gavin. Dimitri claims that Gavin is free to kill himself, but he will also kill Hannah and Dimitri because the algae system can only support 3 people. An imbalance is created and the system fails if there are fewer than 3 breathers on the station. The following day Hannah and Gavin talked about how their entire lives were spent working for the environment and serving on military missions. However, when they look at Earth right now, they realize that none of that matters. They both wish they had spent more time having fun and being carefree. The sweet conversations transform into passionate love. After a few weeks, Hannah notices that the algae are turning brown one day. Although Dimitri assures her that there is nothing to be concerned about, he secretly collects a sample and conducts some tests. Later in the evening, everyone is having a drink and playing cards. When Dimitri says that Nebra only wanted to use the algae system for the air domes of wealthy people on Earth, which is why Dimitri hid Nebra's algae system. Dimitri says he was good with that since that would have made him cash. However, Daniela, like Gavin, was an activist who desired to educate the general public about the system's advantages. What's more, thus, they concealed their creation. They dance and get drunk for the remainder of the night. Hannah receives a message from Earth as she recovers from a hangover. She and Gavin respond, and they learn that 300 people have survived by entering an oxygen-supplied safety bunker. However, supplies are beginning to run out. Hannah wonders how she knows about the algae system when the bunker woman inquires about it. The woman admits that she and a number of others in the bunker have invested in the endeavor. Each is a wealthy CEO. Because there is a gap in the fog, Hannah and Gavin make the decision to use the algae system to descend to Earth and save any survivors they can reach. In the first, that is how they receive the transmission. Dimitri says that they won't be able to carry out this plan without ground control, contact, or the AI Navigant, which is disabled as well. Gavin asserts that they must attempt. What's more, Gavin and Dimitri wind up having a warmed contention. Dimitri takes a blood sample from Hannah after she faints to determine the cause. Hannah and Gavin discuss the possibility that Nop is still alive on Earth because she was one of the soldiers who assisted people in their evacuation to the. They make the decision to carry out the Earth mission. As they prepare to transport the algae, they are shown by Dimitri that every algae has turned brown. He explains that this is taking place because the algae are extremely hormonally sensitive and feed on the nutrients in their urine. Because Hannah is pregnant, the hormones in her urine have changed. For Hannah's baby, making the trip to Earth now would be extremely risky. Gavin tries to talk to Hannah about this, but Hannah insists on carrying out the mission and says she doesn't want to have a child there. The following day they all board the shuttle and get ready for the journey. However, the shuttle has an issue and begins to heat up. The shuttle is heating up to the point where it could explode, so they get out. Gavin tries to manually fix the shuttle. However, in order to save their lives, Hannah separates it from the space station. Space-bound, the shuttle explodes. Gavin is upset with Hannah because she has ruined the Earth people's only chance. Gavin asks Hannah about Icarus after learning about it from the bunker people. According to Hannah, the entire algae lab can be removed and sent below. Gavin is irritated that Hannah did not inform him of this choice. But Hannah claims that it cannot. The lab lacks a steering mechanism and passenger seating options. Gavin, on the other hand, is the activist. Declares that it is their responsibility to test this for the world's population. Hannah discovers as she explores the ship that Dimitri was the one who shut down the shuttle's cooling system and caused the issue. She calls him out on it and says they will utilize Icarus to get to Earth. Dimitri now asserts that the individuals she is attempting to rescue do not care about her. He claims that they probably knew the fog was coming, which is why they wanted the algae system so urgently. They knew and they didn't tell anybody since they would have rather not shared their dugouts. When Hannah talks to the survivors of the bunkers, she finds out that they didn't let soldiers into the bunkers. Hannah is enraged by this, now that she is aware that her sister probably did not survive. Because there are also innocent children in those bunkers, Gavin tries to persuade her to continue with the mission. But Hannah says no. Gavin makes an effort to complete the mission. In any case, he ties Dimitri up and begins loading the algae. He welcomes Hannah into the room upon her arrival. He asserts that she won't try to hurt him because he knows she is a good person. For a brief moment, it appears as though Hannah will comply. However, she stands up and demolishes the Icarus's main frame. Gavin is devastated. Gavin stays in his room frustrated for the next few days. Hannah once more discovers Gavin's body in the depressurized airlock one day. She also fails to save him this time. They give Gavin a burial service, and Hannah lets Dimitri know that this was Gavin's approach to driving his will on them. They must descend to Earth to rescue the survivors now that they require 3 breathers on board. Dimitri tells the horrified Dimitri that he invented the 3 breathers, lie to stop Gavin from trying to kill himself again. Both of them are devastated. A number of years pass. Additionally, Hannah has a daughter named Knuff in her honor. Sister Nop is playing around the boat when she tracks down the radio communicator. When she meets some kids on Earth, they tell her that they are the children of survivors who are looking for others who survived, now that the atmosphere of the Earth has finally been cleared. Turn on notifications, please subscribe for more videos like this, and like the channel to support it. Thank you very much for watching.